Hi there, welcome to Commodities. We have a packed show focused on metals. Two CEOs, copper and gold, are on the menu today. Let's see how energy is doing right now. You can see oil prices have slipped. Earlier today, though, the world crude quote contract was near its highest in 7 months. National Public Radio in the States reported that Iran is ready to reach a deal on the Iranian nuclear program as soon as possible. That may be one factor weighing on oil. Of course, the market hypersensitive to headlines tied to the Middle East. Some traders saying, nah, the Iranians are not ready to come to the table. And earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump said on social media that no deal would be, quote, very bad for Iran, and pushed back on reports that the American military is worried that an extended campaign could prove tricky. So there's a look at oil over the past month, rallying about 8%. So headlines from those talks driving the price of crude right now. And let's check in on the metals. You can see gold slipping, but that's after 4 days of advances. Gold not far off record highs. Hopes of a resolution. The U.S.-Iranian impasse may be one thing weighing on gold right now. Of course, there's been widespread speculation that the Americans are preparing air attacks on that nation. The copper market trying to figure out what the new trade regime is going to look like. And apparently, and this seems paradoxical, if the Americans go ahead with this revised tariff plan announced by U.S. President Donald Trump, the average U.S. levy on goods from China will drop to 24% from 32%. So that's pretty good for Chinese exports, and China's the crucial source of copper demand worldwide. Copper, of course, has hit its record high just in January, and it's been consolidating at that elevated level since. Apparently, though, these high prices for copper have weighed on physical demand in China, and inventories have been building. There's a look at one broad ETF. You could play the copper rally if you believe it's going to continue. XBM, it holds a bunch of base metal miners, trades in Toronto. So we saw copper trading up about 2% in London to around $13,166 a ton. And here's some other commodity-related stories we're watching. Ero Copper shares up today, but that stock has suffered. The investors disappointed with projections lately. The miner reported a strong economic assessment for its Furnas copper gold project in Brazil. They're talking about a potentially large-scale copper mine with a life of 24 years initially. In 2023, Ero struck a deal with Vale Metals to secure a 60% stake in the Furnas project in exchange for funding and engineering work. Shares in Constellation Energy, the big electric generator south of the border, trading higher. U.S. company saw annual revenue jump 13%, pointed to favorable market conditions. We're going to be talking more shortly about the AI-driven demand for electricity. The dividend is going up 10% in Constellation. And Whitecap Resources, the oil and gas producer, saw higher fourth quarter profit and revenue year over year. It's combining its operations with Veren, and that's a big driver for growth. Took over Veren last year, and it hit record quarterly production for oil. It's also entered into a deal with Centrica Energy of Britain, under which Whitecap will supply that company with natural gas starting in April 2028. Let's get back to metals. Vancouver-based Ivanhoe Mines is a big producer in Africa. The company beat fourth quarter earnings estimates, but it did miss on revenue slightly. That was last week. Let's get more, though, on the company's future plans. Joining us from the BMO Global Metals Mining and Critical Minerals Conference in Florida, Marna Cloete, President and CEO of Ivanhoe Mines. It's great to see you again, Marna. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Andy, and thanks for having me.
I think we got a board showing your biggest assets at Ivanhoe Mines. And of course, your crown jewel is Kamoa-Kakula in the Democratic Republic. And then you've got Platreef, which you say could be one of the world's biggest gold mines or one of the biggest gold development projects. Western
Precious metals, yes. Precious metals, yeah.
Oh, what was that again, Marnie?
It's precious metals, so it's platinum, palladium, rhodium, gold, and nickel and copper at Platreef.
Oh, okay, not just gold. Thank you very much. And then you've got Western Forelands and then Kipushi. Start off with Kamoa-Kakula, though, would you? You did have problems with flooding, and that has halted underground production for now?
So we're currently producing, Andy, and our estimates for this year is that we will produce between 380 and 420,000 tons of copper. We are basically in a turnaround year. We're doing a lot of new access development in order to feed our mills, to bring us back into production of between 500 and 550,000 tons of copper from next year onwards. So really a turnaround year for us. The dewatering has gone very well. We're busy with the last piece of dewatering at Kakula East, and that should be done within the next 2 months.
Then tell us about Platreef and the scale of that mine, please, and where you are. Are you at full production yet on Platreef?
So we started the first phase. It was inaugurated towards the end of last year. We're currently producing on an annualized basis about 100,000 ounces of PGMs plus gold. We're ramping up to phase 2, and that will be in production by the end of next year, when we will be producing 450,000 ounces of precious metals plus gold. So it's going to be a significant player in the platinum palladium market in the near future.
And you say this is a world-scale precious metals development project?
It can be the single largest platinum mine in the world at full production.
Oh, platinum mine. Oh, that's interesting. How much of the world's production would you say you'll account for, roughly, percent-wise?
Oh, rough, probably 10%.
Well, that's pretty big, just one mine. Tell us about Kipushi. Where is that, and what do you hope to do there?
So Kipushi is also in the DRC. It's an old brownfields mine that we brought into production. It had its first full year of production last year, and our plans for this year is to produce between 240,000 and 290,000 tons of zinc. Very low cash margin, so a neat little project, the smallest in our portfolio.
Right, a gem. And zinc, will that make you a serious player among global zinc mines?
Yes, it does. It's one of the largest zinc producers in the world.
And tell us, just remind us, what is Western Forelands, please?
So Western Forelands is adjacent to Kamoa-Kakula. We've already made one discovery there that's containing about 10 million tons of contained copper. We will probably start producing in the Western Forelands within a 3 to 5 year horizon. So it's really a new copper district that we are developing outside of our existing joint venture on Kamoa-Kakula. And then obviously much more greenfield exploration outside of the initial discovery, which is called Makoko.
Let's maybe put up a 10-year chart for your stock, because working off Canaccord estimates here, as you build out your assets, you've been in negative cash flow since at least per share, since at least 2021. But Canaccord has you going into positive free cash flow per share and operating cash flow, beginning operating next year, and then both of them in 2027, the company generating cash on a per share basis.
Yes, so Andy, we were really a construction company for most of the past 3 years, developing these world-class assets. And I think over the next 2 years, we're going to start generating significant cash flows and start returning meaningful dividends to our shareholders in the future, should we not grow the company further, which is what we plan to do.
And then DRC is the heart of the company. And tell us, what's been going on there? I mean, it's been plagued by war for decades. Have conditions improved?
Yes, it has. If I compare last year's BMO to this year, a lot has happened in the DRC. There's been a peace accord signed between Rwanda and the DRC, so stability creeping into that conflict zone in the east. It doesn't affect our operations. DRC is really at the center of the critical metal race. So we are very excited about the neighborhood we are mining in, and we are very well positioned to provide the world with the critical metals it will need in the future.
And overall, the nation produced about 14% of the world's copper last year.
Yes, the DRC was the second largest producer in the world last year. It's increased 400% over the past 10 years, their copper production. So I think that is telling in terms of the future of the DRC.
So it's chasing Chile for the world's biggest producer?
Yes, it is.
Just remind us, do you have any cobalt for your operations? I know you don't operate any primary mines, but does any of your geology give you cobalt?
No, it's only pure copper.
Pure copper. That's interesting. I'm sorry, do you get gold as any kind of a side product at Commodities?
Also not, just copper.
That's interesting. Just the way the geology came out? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure you would welcome any extra gold production you had these days.
We would have welcomed gold. I just looked at the commodity prices you were putting up in your show earlier, and gold is really performing magnificently.
It's amazing. When you have a beer or a coffee with your gold mining colleagues, can they wipe the smile off their faces?
Yes. But copper's going places. We are very bullish on copper.
Marna, thank you very much indeed. Marna Kloot is the CEO of Ivanhoe Mines. Up next, we are continuing our coverage of the BMO Metals Conference with a discussion on copper's role in the ongoing AI data center build-out. And we are going to hear from a heavy hitter in computing. We'll be right back. Our guest says the U.S. electrical grid is a key bottleneck, much more capacity needed, and that's going to support copper prices long term. We're delighted to be joined by Kristen Milchanowski, Chief Artificial Intelligence and Data Officer at BMO Financial Group. Thanks very much. I'm just looking at your biography here. You were Chief Data Scientist at Morgan Stanley. You have specialized in AI and other IT tools to root out money laundering. I don't think you're much of an achiever. You're an AI Associate Fellow of the University of Oxford, and you hold a PhD in Decision Sciences. So it's great to have you here. You know one or two things about computing.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an interesting era to be here. AI is driving this CapEx supercycle at data centers, and it's a really interesting conversation.
It's amazing. One thing is amazing to me, that people are now expressing computing power in terms of energy consumption. Can you explain that to me a little?
Absolutely. The physical infrastructure behind what we're building is around efficiency to scale. You've got custom silicon and you have software optimization. There's a lot of constraints now around the electrical grid or just power infrastructure altogether. And so that bottleneck is where you have the interconnection of transformers, permitting issues. It's a grid expansion need and modernization of these data centers.
And the data centers themselves, apart from the broader infrastructure, need vast amounts of copper?
They do. They need vast amounts of copper. There's a lot of other metals that go into it. But from today's conversation, we were focusing on the demand side of copper. And we're seeing it go from being a cyclical commodity to a critical enabler of both AI and electrification with multi-year visibility.
That's interesting. Yeah, it is a classic. Dr. Copper, that old cliche, when copper prices go up, we're into good economic times. But you feel its so-called economic prediction role will diminish because it's going to be constant demand?
We do see increasing demand. There is power behind that demand, meaning it's solidified demand, it's committed demand. And so where we used to see a trade between or a commonality between oil prices with copper. Now it's completely different, and the market is having to react to that demand in a new way.
I suppose people might say, well, what about Moore's Law, that computing scientists, engineers get better and better with less and less hardware at producing more and more computing power. But you say that's not necessarily going to happen with copper consumption.
I there is a Moore's law part to this equation, but the interesting thing is that data centers have a 10 to 15 year refresh cycle, and the AI hardware itself refreshes every 18 to 24 months. So your grid infrastructure upgrades run multi-decade, and so that is that's where the demand for copper is going to be pretty consistent, because you have to have it in that refresh cycle. And so that demand is exponential. And so the metals is going to be able to be present through that long cycle that's coming ahead.
Is there a risk of overbuilding here? I mean, I know one of our investment houses here in Toronto, Veritas, says some of this AI funding is now going into obscure financing vehicles. Is there a risk of an overbuild here, though?
I do think that there is somewhat of a risk of overbuild. Right now, I do believe that the demand that has been present is committed demand. But I don't believe that we're in a situation where this is going to be exponential. So that's what I'm urging people to pay attention to, that I don't think that we're going to be in an exponential growth era for this demand, but it is a pretty constant increase in demand that is committed.
Thank you very much for joining us. I see one of your specialties is AI and biofacial recognition. And so that's an area we'd love to talk to you about someday, an incredible area. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Those deep fakes are coming fast, too.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm thinking about spy movies. Who can be a spy anymore? They can just check your face. Anyway, Kristen Milchanowski, Chief Artificial Intelligence and Data Officer at BMO Financial Group. Okay, we're going to get back to our mining CEOs after this. We'll talk to the boss of Coeur Mining. That stock has doubled in 6 months. Okay, gold stocks have done well. Coeur Mining has risen more than 100% in the past 12 months. The company said its 2025 revenue nearly doubled to $2.1 billion US, driven by record output and, of course, prices. And look at that, the stock up more than fourfold in the past year. We're joined by the CEO, Mitchell Krebs. Mitchell, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Hi, Andy. Nice to see you again.
So we have a board here of your big assets, and of course, you're one in the southern U.S. I believe New Mexico is still your biggest asset, or Rochester. You'll remind me where that one is. I'm sorry, but you just swallowed New Gold of Canada, and you got Rainy River and New Afton. So you acquired two big assets there. Rochester is your biggest asset. Where is that again?
That's in northern Nevada.
Right. Okay. So you've acquired a lot of growth here, a lot of big mining assets with the takeover of New Gold.
Yeah, and this is after we did an acquisition a year ago for a company called Silvercrest Metals, which brought us the Las Chispas silver and gold mine in Mexico. And so now, following up on that, we're about to close, hopefully, in the next few weeks on this New Gold transaction, which will really tilt our business much more toward Canada, much lower costs with the two additions at New Afton and Rainy River, and really establish a new, unique precious metals mining company.
It's interesting. Rainy River over the years was a troublesome asset to develop, but you're hoping a lot of the work was done, and you're buying it at the sweet spot, I guess, is your plan here.
Yeah, that's our thought. I like you. I remember the construction days at Rainy River, and those were some tough yards. But there's some incredible investment there that we'll take, have the benefit of, including a 25,000 ton a day mill. And our goal is to find ways to keep that full as long as possible and continue the production and cash flow out of Rainy River for as long as we can. Your production is mostly gold, but what percent roughly in revenue terms right now, and I know it fluctuates, would be silver? Yeah, last year is about 35% of our revenue came from silver on a combined basis. This year, it'll be somewhere around 25%. Right. So you're happy, obviously, with the jump in silver prices. Does that give you a bit of a premium with that reasonable silver weighting? Yeah, it has historically. This silver premium, this mysterious silver premium, does seem to exist. We've been the beneficiary of that. I think as long as you keep your silver contribution above 20% of your overall revenue, you can kind of maintain that silver premium. So we're sensitive to that, but it's important to have a nice balance across the metals, and we like what we'll have going forward between the gold, the silver, and now a little bit of copper.
Oh, yeah. Where are you getting is that from the BC mine, or where is that coming from?
Yeah, exactly. That comes out of New Afton.
Right. And tell us about New Afton. That's an open pit mine?
It's an underground mine.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. It's a half copper, half gold. Incredible operation right outside of Kamloops. It's a terrific team there. It's a block cave mine, which is a bit of a unique mining method. That team there has done an incredible job over the last dozen years with that mining method. They're just in the early days of now ramping up their next big source of production in the C zone. And on the heels of that, hopefully there'll be more mine life extensions with what's called the K zone. So it's a great, exciting future out there at New Afton, and we can't wait to close the deal here in the next few weeks.
And then you've got your biggest single mine is, according to Canaccord, asset-wise, Palmarejo in Mexico. Tell us about that. What kind of operation is that?
Yeah, Palmarejo is a silver and gold operation. It's about 100,000 ounces a year of gold, 6.5 million ounces of silver. This is actually, I think, the 16th or 17th year that we've been in operation there at Palmarejo. Started up in 2009 with an 8-year mine life. Exploration has been a real key part of the success there at Palmarejo. We just added 5 years of mine life through exploration at the end of last year when we announced our reserves and resources. And so Palmarejo continues to be a real cornerstone and very consistent with a long life ahead of it.
So you're kind of a pan-North American company, aren't you? Mexico, US, and Canada.
That's it, 100% North America. So we'll have 7 operations, just in 2 in Canada, 3 in the US, 2 in Mexico. So low risk, high quality exposure to precious metals at just the right time.
And we're very Mitchell, just remind me, have you been buying back a lot of stock, the company?
Well, we announced a small buyback earlier last year.
Sure.
What we're really excited about is once we close on the New Gold transaction, we'll be rolling out a new, robust return of capital strategy.
Okay.
So we look forward to articulating that here in the coming weeks.
Thank you very much indeed. Mitchell Krebs of Coeur Mining. We're out of time on commodities. Handing you over to the close next.